Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video is going to be my full review of this knife, and this is the Jack Wolf Knives Big Bro Barlow in smooth white bone. And so this is the second run of the Big Bro pattern for Jack Wolf Knives coming here in 2024, actually released today, December 13th, Friday the 13th of 2024. And it is one that I have really been excited about since Ben sent me the kind of teaser pictures here. And really, you can probably tell if you watched my unboxing video. I did an unboxing video for this knife, and if you are interested in that, you can check it out at the link up here. But I was very excited in my unboxing. Some people mentioned it in the comments and stuff, and there's reasons for that. So the Big Bro is a classic pattern. So I'll show you my Big Bro from the first run, and you can see that this is a classic Jack pattern. So it has a regular top bolster here. Let me remove the foam from my case, and then a bottom bolster or an end cap, and really beautiful clip point blade, and it's a nice large regular Jack. Already a great pattern, but for this second run, Ben really kicked it up a notch. I think for everyone, but especially for me, I love Barlow knives, and turned this into a Barlow. So what does that mean? It means that it has an elongated bolster, typically 1/3 the length of the total handle, and no end cap. And so this is a true Barlow. There's no question in my mind. This bolster is long enough for this to be, a classic traditional Barlow. And I think that it's such a good pattern to have turned into a Barlow. The other Barlow that Jack Wolf Knives has done is the Midnight Jack. So they've done a couple runs of the Midnight Jack, as well as a one-hand opening version of a Barlow with the After Hours Jack. But for both of these, you can see these are coffin-handled Barlow knives, which is not really your typical shape for a Barlow. Rather, a Barlow more often is the shape of a regular Jack, or what you might call a swell end Jack. It's not exactly that. It's more of a regular Jack. So I love both the Midnight Jack and the After Hours Jack, but they aren't the most typical or classic or traditional pattern for a Barlow. So I was really, really excited to see the Big Bro Jack being turned into the Big Bro Barlow. And then I saw that they were doing bone for the first time. So this is the first Jack Wolf Knives knife that has bone. They've done other, natural handle materials like wood, but this is the first with bone. And first of all, I appreciate that. I appreciate using traditional cover materials, but specifically smooth white bone really called to me because my first GEC knife was a Barlow in smooth white bone, or what GEC sometimes calls smooth ivory bone. Now, you might be wondering why I'm showing you a knife with a black handle. This is that knife. This was a smooth ivory bone handled TC Barlow, number 15, the kind of most classic GEC knife in my opinion, and I put it in a tea bath. It looked terrible, so I dyed it black. But this knife, my first GEC that really got me into traditional knives and started my love of Barlows, was a smooth white bone Barlow. So I was really excited to see that I was going to be able to get a Jack Wolf Knives Barlow in smooth white bone, and it did not disappoint. Now, if you're familiar with Jack Wolf Knives, you know that they're super consistently, super high quality, high fit and finish, just superb knives. There's no question of that. And that's the case for this also. I was actually prepared for there to be more imperfections on this knife because of the bone. So over the years, and even recently, I have come to realize that you just kind of have to be okay with more imperfections on knives that have don't have synthetic or have natural cover materials. So GEC knives pretty frequently have some gaps between the bolsters and the covers, or the shield and the cover. And, really knives of all levels, even custom knives, the best custom knives out there, at least that I've had. Now, I will be honest, I haven't had any of the like super high-end custom knives, but, I've had some, over $500 custom knives, and they tend to still have some little imperfections like that. But the truth is, this doesn't have that. So I hope you'll be able to see pretty well here when I get it up close. But the meeting between these covers and the bolsters is really, really nice. There's really no gaps on this. The only kind of imperfection I could find is you can kind of catch your nail on the liner. So it might be just ever so slightly, in from the end of the liner. But I mean, very, very slightly. So, and that's me trying to find it. So I was really happy with the fit and finish of this, particularly being that it has natural cover materials, and really even in particular bone. I think bone and some types of wood like ebony tend to shrink and change size and such. And even with this being, so well fitted like it is possible that as you carry and use it, it changes, environments and stuff like that. You could develop some, gaps or things like that. So just be aware of that. It is a normal thing for natural cover materials like this. But I was really happy with it. And in addition to the smooth white bone, I like the whole setup. Now, I've seen some people question the blue screws. I think I've seen some people think that these screws here were not blue and this one was, the pivot. They are all three blue, and I like it. I like blue with titanium. For example, the classic Sabenza that comes with the blue thumb stud and hardware. I actually have mine upstairs. I had it in my pocket all day and took it out for this. But for example, the Midnight Fixed EDC, which is kind of in the Midnight Jack family, also has the titanium and blue screws. So I do like blue on my knives. So I don't mind that at all. And then the bolster on this one is a polished or almost a satin bolster. It's not fully polished like on the, let me show you this here, like on the Gunslinger with the wood, or on the, not Bionic, the Bionic Jack, like so. This was the Knife Center exclusive. So it's not fully polished like that, but it's not the typical kind of blasted look that the Jack Wolf Knives bolsters typically have. So I really like that look. It does look like a traditional bolster. The fit is perfect along the backspring and everything, and the blade on this is a hand satin, so it gives it a really, handmade look to me. It really looks nice. I love how it looks. I think that this is just a great configuration. There are also other configurations that are coming out, obviously, and a lot of really cool ones, but this is the one absolutely without question that I would go with. It is beautiful. I mean, like, I wouldn't change it. And as usual, incredible, beautiful walk and talk. I mean, the sound on this, I want you to hear it. Is beautiful. And you might also be hearing my dogs going crazy upstairs and my son singing. So, you're welcome if you got to hear those things too. But beautiful walk and talk, no blade play, no blade wrap. The tip sits very deep in the frame here. Just a beautifully made knife. So a really, really awesome traditional Barlow. Aside from the screws, if you change these to pins, this would look exactly like a traditional Barlow that you could see. And so with that in mind, I want to show you a bunch of different Barlows to compare this to for size and just for comparison. I'm going to mention this here at the end. This is the Jacks that Jack Wolf Knives recently came out with. I bought this one and I was really excited to get it. Really fun little thing here that I'm going to talk about just in a second. But here is a Cooper Cutlery New York Knife Company Barlow. You can see it's a little smaller. Here is a Monterey Bay Valor. This one pushes the Barlow. I'm not 100% sure that bolster is quite long enough for it to be a Barlow, but it is definitely moving in that direction. So I just wanted to show it. I just got that knife and I'm really liking it. And speaking of knives that are kind of trying their best to be a Barlow, I've got the GEC 78 Rosie Barlow with the semi-elongated bolster, and here's a GEC 14, and here's a 15 to replace that 78, the classic GEC Barlow, and then here's a 77, and I think probably the best comparison GEC size-wise is the 86. So you can see the Big Bro and the 86 are very similar in size and really overall kind of outline or footprint. The Big Bro might be a little bit wider up here towards the bolster, but it's very similar in size to the 86 Barlow. So if you're familiar with the 86, you will be familiar with the size of the Big Bro. So a great size for using. I think this could be your only knife, and you could do pretty much all tasks with it. It is a beautifully made knife, beautifully designed knife. Super, super happy with this. And I just, like I said, want to talk about this real quick. So this Jax, it's an interesting thing. It's obviously kind of like a throwing star or a shuriken. I always forget the word, but if you're like me, when I was young, I would watch the Cold Steel proof videos and buy stuff from that, or my dad would buy me stuff, and I had some throwing stars and had a heck of a lot of fun with them. And so when I saw that Jack Wolf Knives was doing these, I was like, I'm gonna get one. You know, why not? Now, this is not like a functional throwing star. You can see it's not sharp or really fully pointy either. It is really like just a trinket, something that you can carry and enjoy the machining. It is machined very finely. You can see this is a version with gold anodized titanium and then a gold shred carbon fiber inlay. And the truth is, there's a bunch of stuff like that in the knife and EDC market. Like there's some Facebook groups that do like eggs or leaves for people to carry. Coins are really big. You know, the Barlow Bearcat Club has club coins. We're actually getting some more made right now. We're working on it. So it's kind of something that there is precedent for. And, you know, why not? Like, if you feel like carrying something that's kind of cool, reminds you of fun in your childhood, I think it's a cool thing. And honestly, considering what this is, now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people, if you make it this far and hear me say this, you're going to think I'm crazy, because it is not a functional tool, right? And this one was, I think, $70. I believe that's what I paid, maybe $75. And you might think what I'm about to say is ridiculous because it is not a functional tool. But compared to some of the other trinkets on the market, I think it's a pretty good price. So, for example, I have nothing against, coins. Obviously, like the Barlow Bearcat Club has coins. Now, I will say our coins are stamped, like die stamped, minted copper coins and also silver coins. So it's very different from something like this. This is just a giveaway item that Rosecraft Blades had at Blade Show. But things like this, which are what the eggs and leaves and stuff are like, and sometimes they're even just 3D printed. These are like enameled and, not copper or silver or something like that. And these will typically run in the, $30 to $40 range shipped. So considering, and again, I have nothing against that. Like, if you enjoy carrying those things, I have some of them. I have a leaf and a couple eggs, couple that were given to me, and I think I bought one. So nothing at all against that. But I do think more goes into this. Like I said, I've had coins minted and, know that that there is a process to that. But this is, CNC'd, titanium, anodized, the inlays are put on. So I think considering that, it's a pretty reasonable price. I was happy to get one, but it's not for everybody. I do also like this bead. I hope they plan to come out with some titanium wolf head beads. I very much want to get one of those for on my Midnight Fixed EDC. But I just wanted to show this. I think it's a cool thing. I've been carrying it some, and these I believe are still available. So get yourself a Jax if you want a cool thing to remind you of your childhood, or if you're a Mitsubishi fan, or is it Mitsubishi? Yeah, I think Mitsubishi. Whatever. There's a car company that's kind of similar looking, their logo to this. But anyway, or if you love Barlow knives, this is a great Barlow. I think I will go ahead and say my favorite Jack Wolf Knives knife so far. And I have really loved a lot of them. So that's saying something. So if you pick one up, make sure you do it from Traditional Pocket Knives or Knife Ship Free. Using my link in the description. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. Also, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and select all so you know when I post new videos. Check out my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife-related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.